There we go. We are recording.
We are recording.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy
Uh,
Friday or whatever day you're watching us on.
yes, most definitely. But it's Friday for us.
It is Friday for
A
us.
little, a little, a little preview of what we're going to be discussing today.
Take
And
it
as I was
away.
saying to Leslie prior to this, that this episode is not to cause any kind of fear or anxiety. It's just bringing some awareness. And it's just something that came up in my feed, and I kind of went from there, which I'll get into later. But we just want to say we aren't trying to cause any fear or point the finger or accuse one kind of music being better than the other, or creating any kind of darkness, so to speak. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm treading lightly because I don't want to offend anyone. So just listen to it. Hopefully you like what we've got to talk about today, and again, give us your comments.
Right. And then just a little bit, why don't you tell exactly so we're looking at like
Mm-hmm.
a negative opening yourself up to negativity through music, drink, drugs, anything that can open the mind, so to speak, and lower inhibitions and cause you to be susceptible to programming or negative entities. And we'll get into that. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sounds good.
yeah,
So, are you ready?
we're ready. Let's
Let's
go.
dive. Let's dive
All
into.
right, you go first because you have the story and this is your
So,
topic.
yeah. So, I was when I talked to Leslie this week, I was kind of letting her know, we all go through that rabbit hole when we get online and we find something that we like. And for me, I follow a lot of spiritual pages, not just spiritual pages in like meditation and that kind of thing, but also a lot of metaphysical. I also follow a lot of hardcore Catholic pages where they're like very old school, which I don't agree with, but I like to listen to them anyway. And I also find like I follow like a liberal Catholic, and I follow some Christian pages. And one particular day, as I was saying to Leslie, I just, you just click on it and you're reading, and then there's another link, and you go to that and you go to that. And then before long, you've like clicked on so many different things, you don't even know where you're at now. But I happened to stumble across this man who, and he just stood there, and he like stood in front of his camera and was just like doing his own little interview with himself, saying how he was kind of high up on the food chain, so to speak, with this satanic church. And he had something going on in his life. It sounded like it was kind of one of those things that was like a little bit of a struggle, maybe some issues. I don't know what. I don't remember what he said. I don't remember him saying what it was. But what he went on to do is he wanted to perform a ritual for himself. He was by himself.
Mm.
And so he was at the table, he said, and he was lighting his candle. And it sounded like he must have been in a dark room because he lit the candle, and the room just, it got brighter and brighter and brighter. And he knew that he thought it was a candle, but then he's like, no, this isn't the candle. And then it seemed as though like he could feel that there was someone with him, a spirit of some sort. And the spirit came across as Jesus to him, and he just said, no, I play with the other team, I don't believe in you, I don't think this is real. And he just kept on kind of like maybe talking to this being or what have you. And before long he said, okay, well, if you're real, then take this heaviness off me, what I'm going through, I want you to take it away from me. And he said that instantly, he said he felt light, his whole body felt light, and he felt like the weight of the world had been taken off of him. And he said that he felt this love that he couldn't even describe it. It was just so strong and so powerful. And he knew right then and there that this was Jesus that was there. And basically Jesus was like, I don't want you doing this. I don't remember word for word, so I don't want
Right.
to say what he said, but I'm just summing it up for you, is that
Yeah.
he truly in his heart believed that this was Jesus. So then he goes to the Church of Satan, says, okay, I'm going now with the other team. I want nothing to do with you, because he had this profound experience
Mhm.
happen. So with all that, there was a video too of like a satanic temple in the San Bernardino Mountains, I believe Crestline to be exact was I think the city that it was in. And it just to sum it all up again, because I don't want to like carry the whole thing on, because we have a lot of conversation between you and I that we want to discuss. But it just sounds like the darker side is just rising up. There's a lot of dark coming in. There's a lot of light coming in. All it's always been a spiritual battle, I think, from day one. But now it just seems to be it's heightened. It's huge. And the darkness seems to be going after the youth, the children who maybe, and again, I know that in this day and age, both parents have to work, but there's a lot of kids who are left unsupervised. And they're very often going into different venues where there's certain kinds of music being played. And it's almost like a gang. They're trying to recruit
They're
people.
vulnerable
Yes.
and they prey on that.
And these kids want family, they want love, and they're going to get it somewhere.
Hmm.
And from all that was being said with what I watched is that a lot of the music is just it's influencing, it's creating a lot of anger and a lot of hostility, especially in the home, because a lot of parents aren't there and the kids have no one to go to, no one to talk to. They're lonely, so they're looking for some place to fit in. And so what was being said was that the darkness is just trying to consume our children, our youth, and they're doing it through music. They're doing it through a lot of the occult. And when I speak of the occult, I know that I get a little bothered when I see some of the stuff on Christian and Catholic pages where they talk poorly about Reiki, crystals, astrology. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that. I've never have. I've been intuitive since I was a child, and I don't believe in any of that. Is it true for some people? Maybe. I don't know, but not for me. So, but these kids are going into like the darker side of it with the negative part of the metaphysical. Does that make any sense? Am I making it?
Yeah, I think that people, you're talking about when people speak negatively of Reiki and crystals and
Mhm. Yeah, well, they've
tarot
seen
and divination.
right,
I think that's a conditioned belief ingrained by their religion.
right, right,
They weren't born with that belief.
right. No, they
Somewhere
were
along the
taught it.
line they picked that up and they
Right.
adapted it as or
Mhm.
adopted it as their own.
Right.
And
But that to me, that's not the occult. That's not
no,
that's not to me, that's working in the light, doing the Reiki, the meditations, the breath work. Those things are the planets. Those things are to me are not dark, but some people they do. So I'm talking about the darker arts. Um, this is what this man was discussing when the work that he was doing. And that's what I'm talking to you about today is because there's just a lot of kids that are being targeted. And adults too, the vulnerable people, the people who have no one, they're preying on them. That's
yeah, and I think that again to go back to the religious beliefs of witchcraft is bad and stuff. I think that is a control issue
right.
and it's taking away your personal power because we can use these tools to help us with the light,
Hmm.
grow spiritually and as a person
Right.
and live better lives, be better humans. And I think the church that's fearful. They look at that as a threat.
Right.
Free thinker,
Right.
get them.
Right. Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And let's. What do
Exactly.
we come up with? How do we turn this around? Oh well,
Mhm.
let's say it's bad.
Right. Right. But
Let's.
you and I were talking about some of the musicians that we've like their voice and what they were about, and all of a sudden they come up with these videos that are a little bit on the darker side,
Mhm.
and the meaning behind the song has got a dark feel to it, and you feel it in your gut and you know it's real. So
Yeah.
we're starting to see more of that with mainstream musicians. So we were talking what I was seeing when I was talking to you about was a lot of like punk music, where there's a lot of anger and hostility, death metal. And don't get me wrong, I would take a hair band and some heavy metal over country at any time. But you don't see it in those people.
Not me. I'll wear my hat and boots proudly. Thank you very
But
much.
I'm just saying it's just I'm not saying that if you listen to it, you're gonna all of a sudden be open to satanic vibes or the dark side. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that from what I've heard and I've read, and what this man was saying is that those are the targets. They're the youth.
Right.
They're the people who are
Again,
vulnerable.
yeah, the vulnerable
Right.
because and
So
they have no guidance on how to protect themselves or even know that they should be um,
right.
because they're listening to something over and over and over and over and over again. You're basically brainwashing yourself. Look at Fox News. We'll take it a little political here. Look at Fox News, brainwashed with their propaganda and I say news loosely, Fox Entertainment. Um, but it's the same thing. If you listen to that over and over and over again, it's going to affect you. It's going to get into your subconscious.
Well, and it's like us at the shop. The store was based on light, that it was centered around light and doing light workers work. And there were times where we had people who were looking for, occult stuff. I remember one kid came in and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for a warlock to guide me." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we don't have that here." And to me, a lot of kids look at that as being a cool thing. I'm going to start doing
Right.
stuff. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go and draw a pentagram and I'm gonna light the place on fire and I'm gonna do this spell work and you know, so there's a lot of kids that think that that kind of stuff is cool.
And playing
So
with Ouija boards.
like,
Playing
and
with
you're
that's a big
opening up,
kid thing, let's um we had one, Ellery had one, but we, with my supervision, we did, and I could never, I guess I didn't really try that hard either because I didn't really want her, but I
mhm,
didn't want to tell her no either because they'll do it anyways. They'll
right,
do it at somebody else's house. At
right,
least if they're doing it here, I can offer some guidance and oversee the session and stuff like that.
right,
But we never could get anything going.
right.
So that was short lived. So, and she was over it.
But we were talking too about, the frequency of the music nowadays is just a little bit different than what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more
I meant
targeted.
to look that up and I forgot, but
Yeah, they're targeting people, with this certain frequency, and it's not an easygoing calmness. It's again, it's hostile.
it's programming.
Yeah, most
It's just
definitely.
basically what it is. And they're targeting youth, vulnerable people.
Mhm.
And then again, like when we started the episode with drugs and alcohol as
Right.
well,
Right.
lowering your inhibitions can open yourself up for um, negative entities to
Well, there's a reason why they call alcohol spirits when you think about it. Alcohol,
exactly.
they call it spirits. Well, there's a reason why they call it that. And the more that you drink or do drugs, or anything else that's in a negative, you start wearing holes in your aura, and that opens you up to some negative entities and
Yeah,
attachments and things like that. So those holes, they need to be healed up. If you're going to stop drinking, you're going to stop doing drugs, you need to do some work to close those holes up, those tears, because they're there and that's how they get in. And it's documented. I mean, I think we talked about maybe just together, not on the episode, but there's a book, Return from Tomorrow, I think it's called, and it's about a doctor who actually died. I think he died for like 10 minutes. And he talked about how he died
oh,
and traveled on. And
hang on just a second. You just muted.
oh wow.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, in
All
that
of a
interesting.
sudden, wow, that was strange, right?
Yeah, something's trying to
Your
go.
your volume has been weird for the past like 2 minutes. I got a notice. I don't know. if anyone noticed, but I was kind of doing things. I had a volume alert come up on my screen, so I was kind of messing with it. And then you went completely silent.
Well, what does that tell you? So, as I
So,
was saying, there's a book, Return from Tomorrow. It's a doctor who died for, I think, 10 minutes, documented. And while he died, he like went on a journey and he ended up in a bar and he saw all these spirits. They were alcoholics and so forth. And they were literally waiting for people to get drunk so that they could enter into their, their auras,
field.
their field.
Yeah.
And so they were literally waiting. And I mean, I was like, that just is something that, and I read this book probably 30 years ago, and it is something that has always stuck with me. I do drink wine, so
Oh
I'm not,
no, we're not saying that. But
yeah,
you're not
I'm,
sitting at the bar every night
um,
drinking a couple bottles of wine.
so
And
I'm just saying just because you drink doesn't mean it's going to
no, no,
happen.
no, no, we're not saying that at
But
all.
over time, if you don't do other things, take care of your body, do some exercising, some meditation, some breath work, all those things that can help heal, and stay grounded, those are helpful. But this is what he saw. So
Right,
it's documented from a doctor. How
right,
else so
right.
I just know that stuff to be real. I mean,
Yeah,
and so you just
right.
got to be careful with what you're doing, the places that you go into. Like, they were talking about these venues where this music is being played is just a lower vibe.
Mhm. And we're not talking about this to be fearful, to make you guys scared or anything, but just to be aware.
Right. Yeah. Watch your kids. What are they doing? Who are
What
they
are they
hanging out with?
listening to? Yes, you are the company you keep.
Right.
So, and
Exactly.
and and a lot of the times you can't always control that.
Right.
If they will find a way to see their people how they do it. I mean, we all were kids once. We all did some shady shit.
Oh
I
yeah.
did anyways.
We
So
all did. We all did.
um so we're not bagging on that, but just be aware.
Right.
Be aware what you're consuming in your body, what you're
Hanging
reading,
out
what
at.
you're watching,
Right.
who the company you keep, um, because it does matter.
It does matter. It really does. I mean, even watching some of the TV shows or some of the documentaries, those things too. I know I have a friend that won't watch anything that has to do with possessions or anything like that
Yeah,
because she opens it up.
yeah, I
You
don't, I
open
don't. You like those accounts. You like reading about,
I do.
that, and I stay away from that because I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care for that
Yeah.
myself.
Right. No,
But but
I
like you do it the smart way. You're doing it for educational purposes
well,
and
yeah.
awareness
Mhm.
to know what's going on.
Well, it just makes me aware of what's going on
Hmm.
in other homes because this stuff is,
Yeah.
the lower energies, the darkness, whatever you want to call it, demons, devil, entities, whatever you want to call them, they're out there and they do prowl around. Um, and I do like listening to those things because it gives me an awareness. Have you ever been around somebody who's just really creepy and they're just dark and we were somewhere, Taylor and I were somewhere, and some guy growled. You were just like,
Ew.
but he was odd. And you have to wonder, like, okay, what is going on with this person? So we left. We just thought, no, we're not hanging out here. It was a store. And it's just like they're just prowling around. It just grossed me out. So
Ew.
I know. I just hurry up, put my shield up. I try and put my shield up when I leave anyway, but then you just ask for added protection because you don't know who these people are.
Why don't you explain to people how you put your shield up? So if like they want to protect themselves when they go out into the public, they can.
So what I do is I put my shield up. I believe in God, so I put my Christ light around me. I also ask God to allow the Archangel Michael to shield and protect me. So I put that cobalt blue light up. But I also like to cloak myself. And I have my own particular color. I pick a color that's not known because the darkness does know that the light is out there and people shield themselves with the light. So I like to cloak myself in a color that's only known to me. And I throw that cloak over my home. But I basically pull the light up from the bottom of my feet, literally around me. And I build a cone on my home. But around me, I just build this light continuously all around, until it's like I'm shielded. That's how I do it. How do you do it?
I'm kind of the same way, just I have wards put on the house. I
Mhm.
do the cardinal sign north, south, east, west, with protections there. And sometimes I'll put like archangels on each sign, north, south, east, west. But it's warded and then domed,
Mhm.
with light. And then I put another color on top of that to cloak it,
Right.
just in case they get through the cloak. Then they're going to get hit with the light. And then I also have a thing, if they get hit with the light, they turn to the light.
Okay, yeah.
So you want to come for me? Well, you're gonna get a blast of light. So that's how I do it. And then when I leave, I'm not as good as you to remember to do it, but I do wear my protections on my body as well. Um,
I do.
and then I'm not as good as cleansing myself when I get back. I
Yeah.
need to be better at that, and walking through a violet flame through my front
Mhm.
door, just shoo, 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 shoo,
Right.
get anything. But I have been calling back my energy at night. I don't know if, and I do the cardinal signs again, north, south, from the north to the south, to the east, to the west. I call back my energy. What belongs to me returns to me,
Right.
and what doesn't, I release. And anything I picked up along the way through the day, I release that as well and transmute that in love. And so I've been doing that as an extra little layer. I was instructed to do that. So I've been trying to listen and pay
I
attention.
literally go outside and sage the outside of my house. I start there, go around all the way around my whole entire house. I don't give a shit what my neighbors think. Then I go around with salt, and I also put salt around the whole perimeter of my home just for added protection, because there's just a lot of creepy crawlers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like whenever you're doing this kind of work and you're working in the light, you also attract the dark.
Exactly. And then also, I would never have a welcome mat at my house, because you're welcoming and inviting everything into your home.
Mhm.
Mine says good vibes only. You need something like, so it's, and then a salt. You could do black salt too. You could do the sulfur. I still have the sulfur from the shop. That was effective. I did my whole room
That's
and
good. That was
everything.
a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a
The,
brimstone.
the brimstone.
Brimstone.
Yeah, we said sulfur to those who were new, but brimstone to
Yeah,
those who we were talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah, you guys are fire and brimstone. It's yeah. It,
But some
it,
people get a little freaked out when you say brimstone, like you're gonna all of a sudden start
yeah.
doing some weird shit, and we're like, no, it's all good. So
No, it's just for, and brimstone does work if
it
you
does
guys,
work.
it really does.
Mhm.
Um, you just do a little sprinkle, a little line. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, when we first moved into this house, I did everything. Since I did Reiki symbols as well. Um, yeah, if you just regularly just cleanse the energy, you're
Yeah.
really good about that. You're always lighting candles and sage and
I
incense.
do.
And
I do. And I got my big piece of selenite underneath my coffee table and a big piece of black tourmaline at the front door.
yeah, I have my big piece of selenite that you gave me at the front door. Um,
Rosemary is also good to have outside your door. That's a good protection, some rosemary. So there's things that you can do. You don't have
yeah,
to me, like I said, for me, I just go around and sage and salt. So I don't care what
yeah,
people think. If they see me, then fine.
yeah.
If they don't, I don't really care.
Yeah. So since we're talking about protection, if you are going to do, tarot cards or pendulum, or if you want to work with spirit, it's a good idea to learn how to protect yourself. And
Definitely.
you can use these tips they transfer to other things as well, just daily life and just simple protection
Right.
anyways. Um, so when you before you open a session, you set a clear intention
Hmm.
before every session. For example, I invite only energies, messages, and guidance that serve my highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Anything not aligned with love, truth, and wisdom is not welcome here.
Right.
Simple, or use make it up, use your own words.
Right.
Um, intention acts as a boundary
Hmm.
to keep out the unwanted.
Right.
Okay. Then I ground. Then we ground. So how do we do that? You can walk barefoot outside. You could deep breath. You could mine is visualization. It's always visualization.
Right.
Just visualizing roots coming out from your feet and going into Mother Earth and anchoring in there. Or you could hold grounding stones too, like black tourmaline, hematite, smoky quartz, stuff like that. So, and a grounded person is less likely to become fearful, overwhelmed, or carried away by your imagination
Right.
and whatnot. So,
Yeah,
and
those
then
are
create a sacred space. Maybe light a candle, do a little sage. Set the stage, so to speak. Um, you can use sound. You could ring a bell. I have bells on the door so the energy gets cleansed,
right.
coming and going. We kind of sound over the top, but it's just a daily, it sounds like a lot, but it's not because it's,
It's no different than if you pray in the morning or you do yoga in the morning or you do a little
yeah,
breath, or you do a little journaling. It's no different. It's just something that you just add to your daily routine, and it's a good way to start the day.
yeah. And then when you're getting messages, learn the difference between guidance and fear. If the messages are threats or you must do this
Yeah.
or they also use flattery. Oh, you're the chosen one, you're so special. um, and then like you must obey me or something silly like that.
Like a
But
bad date.
yeah, but if the messages are rooted in like love and helpfulness, compassion, empowerment, that's when
Right.
we've talked about this before, but
Right.
just
Right. Right.
reiterating that tip. And never surrender your authority.
Right.
Guidance can be received. You can receive the guidance, but it's up to you if you want to accept that guidance or not.
Right.
So you have your own autonomy and your own free will. So it ultimately comes down to your choice. Spirit
Right.
would never, never demand you to do anything.
Right.
So that's a clear, like,
If something
red
feels wrong,
flag.
don't do it. Yeah, if you something doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah. And
You
then
know,
ask questions. Who are you? Who am I speaking with? Um, do you come in love and truth? And then are you aligned with my highest good? And
right.
then if you're still unsure, then if you ask them, show me who you truly are, they cannot deceive you if you ask them point
Right.
blank.
Hmm.
And also trust your body. If you're getting an ick or this doesn't feel right, like I don't like the messages that are coming out.
Right.
um, so pay attention to that as well. And this is really important. Close every session out. Do
Right.
not forget to close the session. Do not leave the session open because then you've left yourself open for other things to
Hmm.
come in. You can say something like, the session is now complete. I thank all benevolent guidance received. All energies not my own must now depart. My energy is my own. Session
Right.
is closed. Thank you.
Right.
Something, something to that effect. And I'll write all this in the description
Okay.
so you
Perfect.
guys can see it
Yeah, that'd
as
be great.
well. Um, yeah, so those are just some things that I use because I do a lot of divination. like almost on a daily basis.
Hmm.
So either cards or I've been working with a new little system that I'm not ready to divulge right now, but
In time.
in time. So
Yeah.
I'm getting some interesting messages that are coming up. So we
Good, good. Can't
shall
wait to hear it.
see.
Can't wait to hear all about it. So maybe soon you'll let us know what you're doing.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome. But
But
again, we just, if there's any kind of questions you guys have for us, just let us know, and just
mhm.
in the comments or reach out, through direct messaging or something like that, so we could assist you and just give you a little bit of some techniques and what we do if you want to go a little bit further into it. Um, Everyone's different. Everyone's belief system is different. But there's a lot that you could do to protect yourself and your family. There's nothing greater than a mother praying for her kids,
Mhm.
and putting that light around them.
And your
So
car. And your car. Don't forget your
in
car.
your car. Um, so there's a lot that you could do to try and keep your kids as protected as you can. I mean,
Right.
again, they got free will, even though
They
they're
do, even though they're itty bitties.
so you can only direct them to the best of your ability, and the rest is going to be up to them. But
Hmm.
have a little faith and just shield them. You do. You got to do it. That's all there is to it.
Hmm.
Hopefully they'll outgrow some of these things that they may be doing or maybe getting interested in, but got to support them, and then hopefully they figure it out and they go a different path than what we're talking about, like what
Right, 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 right.
the
Yeah.
direction that this man went into. That's the last thing you want.
Yes. Yes. So
But he
it's
found
just
his way, and he had to go through that. He had to be a part of that church to get to where he's at now. And it's one thing that he said. He's like, I'm extremely grateful. I would have never come to this point in my life had I not gone through the dark and came out the light. So I think that was pretty
that's
powerful.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure that was extremely life-changing for him.
Mhm. It sounds like it. Again, I don't remember what page this was on, because I clicked on so many different things,
Yeah.
because there's just so much information that I was like trying to grasp it all, and read it all and watch videos, and I ended up there, and I'm glad I did, but I don't remember his name. I don't. So
Well, you remember the title of the book though, so they can Google it.
that title in that book, yeah, that you could look up.
What's it called again? I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description.
Return from Tomorrow.
Return
Yeah.
from
I,
tomorrow. Okay, I'll Google that up and I'll put that
it's
in
a
the
really
description
old
as well,
book, and he
in
was a
case
doctor.
anybody's interested in, reading his story.
Or just you could just kind of Google it and see what he says. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really good read. It's one of those books that you don't want to put down, because there's so if you're interested in this kind of
Hmm.
thing. I liked it because he was a doctor, and and they're scientists, so they don't always believe in the spiritual as much as they do the science. So
Right.
it was a nice read, and it was pretty, it was interesting. So much so that I'm still talking about it 30 years
Well,
later.
yeah.
It was a pretty
Yeah. Well,
long.
it affected you, you
Well,
know?
yeah, because you don't know, how many people die and come back. I think it's coming a little bit more, or people are more accepting of it,
Yeah,
or
and NDEs.
yes, yes. So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff is coming out a little bit more. There's more. There's another doctor that wrote a book, probably like 20 years ago or so, 15 years ago, and he's another one. So I mean, it's happening. It is happening. So people are seeing the other side of
Hmm.
what we're doing now.
Yeah. And thankfully they're bringing these things back and writing about them and sharing them so we learn as well.
Well, I think that people are okay now talking about it. Before, you would have been ridiculed, especially if you went to church, people wouldn't have believed it, or if you were this way or that way, people didn't want to hear it, or they thought
Hmm.
you were crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm happy now that more and more of it's coming out. So it's good to know that there's something greater than what we're doing here.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, hope you liked what we talked about today.
Yes. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comments. We always can use ideas for episodes.
Yeah.
Any topic, nothing off limits. Talk about anything.
Yeah, most definitely. We're always up for a good challenge.
Hmm. Of course.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I have to say to this whole
Oh,
thing.
that's all I have to say. I added my 2 cents, and yeah, I think we're good.
We are good. Well, you have a wonderful weekend.
You as well, you guys as well.
I'll see you next
Enjoy
week.
your it's almost
Father's
summer.
Day. Father's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Fathers out there. Yeah.
And
Hope you have a wonderful time with your family and your children and your grandkids and your four-legged babies.
yeah. I wish everybody was here, but
You know.
we do what we can.
Yeah. So,
So
well, happy Father's Day to Chris.
happy Father's Day to Lonnie.
Yeah. All righty. Well, we'll
All
see.
right,
We'll see.
guys. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks.
What is going on?
There. Mine's done. Okay.